All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Hope Connects. The purpose of Hope Connects is, as we've mentioned before, just connecting our community, especially right now, staying virtually connected and bringing resources to you at the donation and transplantation community, highlighting our community partners and highlighting people within the organization of We Are Sharing Hope that are doing incredible work. Today, I have with me Eddie O'Connor, one of our family support counselors. So Eddie and I are going to talk a little bit about Hispanic Heritage Month, which is going on now. It started September 15th and goes on through October 15th. So Eddie and I are going to share a little bit about this month, what it means. But first, I just would like to welcome Eddie. Thank you for joining us and for hopping on. I hope you are having a wonderful week so far.
I am. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. So Eddie, tell me a little bit about you. Tell me about your role with We Are Sharing Hope and how long have you been doing this?
Yeah, well, so you mentioned my last name is O'Connor. So my dad is Irish, but my mom is Puerto Rican. Okay. So that's my connection to the Hispanic community. I've been a family support counselor with Sharing Hope for about 4.5 years. And my role is primarily to support families throughout a difficult time, a tragedy they may have experienced at a hospital. And we go in and we just provide, just like I said, support, education as needed. And at the appropriate time, we will have end-of-life discussions to include organ donation.
Right. That's incredible work. It's so powerful and so important. And we're so thankful for everything that our family support counselor team does in every hospital across the state. So thank you for the work that you're doing. It's incredibly powerful. And I know the families are so thankful for your support and your guidance throughout the entire donation process. So you said you've been about 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, so tell me a little bit about, where did your connection to donation or your passion, where did that stem from?
So my connection is not really a direct connection, but I worked with a colleague at a hospital system here in Columbia, South Carolina. And he applied for the job and got the job first as a family support counselor. And I began to explore, as I saw him come in, because he would come back into the ER, and I would ask him about the job. Tell me about your job. And as he was describing it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds like a really difficult job. And at first, I was like, I don't know if I could even do that. But as I kept talking to him, maybe the third or fourth time, I became interested, and because I was looking for something more, and I was looking for a greater purpose, and I applied to Sharing Hope, and I got the job. And I'll be the first to admit that I didn't know what I was applying for. You don't really know. You see the details and the description, but you don't really know what it is until you really start to talk to the families and you sit with them, and it's a very rewarding but difficult job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially in the donation world, you never truly know what you're getting into, especially job-wise, if it's a world that you don't have that one-on-one connection with. But once you get into it and you figure out, what you're doing or meet the people, the passion just is immediate. Like you said, you find something that you're like, wow, I'm making a difference. This is incredible work and amazing people, and constantly inspired by everyone around you.
These families, when they're going through this tragedy, they're letting you into their lives at this time. It's one of the worst days of their lives, and that's a sensitive time for them. And they're allowing you to come in and sit with them, and it's a really humbling experience to sit next to a family throughout this difficult time, and they trust you. That's for me, trust is everything between a family and I, and I do everything in my power to let them know that they can trust me, and that's very important to me. Take care of the family.
Well, it's amazing work, and you clearly are very passionate about it. So thank you for all that you do. So tell me a little bit, it's, as we mentioned, National Hispanic Heritage Month. Tell me a little bit about, especially in your role, why it is so important to be able to represent the Hispanic and Latino community when talking with families or, having to explain something. Share a little bit about your experience and why, that is so vital.
Yeah, so I'll use myself as an example. My mom's Puerto Rican, and we grew up in New York City, and then moved down here. And I didn't know anything about donation, and anything that I probably knew, even the little bit of information that I knew, was misinformation. And I feel that's prevalent in the community in itself. And I just want to help the Hispanic community to understand, to get the right information, information so that I could help them generate conversations amongst the family and friends so that they could make an informed decision. So one of the things that we always talk about is when someone's a registered donor, the family, in the event that something does happen and they are going through this tragedy, the family doesn't have to make a decision anymore in regards to the patient, because a lot of times we hear, even among spouses, oh, I don't know, we never talked about this. So now she or he is left, with the decision. They may favor donation, but they're left with the decision, would he do this? So of course we talk about the individual and the type of person the individual is or was, and hopefully they see the goodness in donation, and this is what they would do as far as extending their legacy.
Right. And that's so important. That's, my role every day, obviously right now a little bit different, being more virtual, but typically out in the community and talking with people, because having that conversation is so, so important. And outside of deciding if this is the right thing for you, being an organ, eye, and tissue donor, the next thing that we say is you have to share your wishes with your loved ones, because when they're in the position of, do I have to make this decision? That is a gift to them that you've already talked about this, you've told them, you've had that conversation, and now they can move forward and not have to feel the burden or the weight of, am I making the right choice? Is this what this person would have wanted?
And sometimes, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
Sometimes you see them sitting there and they're like weighing back and forth. It's like a burden that they're trying to go back and forth making a decision. And like you said, if they had this conversation previously, in the event that something does happen, which it's tragic again, but at least now they know this is what they wanted to do, and I will be honoring their wish. Something that I've noticed in the Hispanic community as well is that sometimes cultural beliefs will prevent. They may even see the good in donation, but the cultural beliefs they elect not to donate. And donations is very important in like I said, in all communities, but to include the Hispanic community.
Absolutely.
Get the information out there to them and let them know that there are resources that we have to get the information.
And that's the next thing is, we are here to provide those resources, to offer the education, to make sure you have made an informed decision, that your loved ones know of your decision. And especially, this month shining light on the Hispanic community, and that being so, so important. And so, we've talked about the importance of this decision, the importance of educating yourself, the importance of sharing that with your loved one. So I just, one last thing, I guess, is this conversation today. It has been so inspiring to hear the work that you're doing and the passion that you have for, your role with We Are Sharing Hope South Carolina and the families that you're able to touch every single day and the job that you're doing. So what do you hope that the Hispanic and Latino community take from our conversation, specifically, being National Hispanic Heritage Month and the importance of organ, eye, and tissue donation in South Carolina? If you could give one or two pieces of advice, what do you hope that someone watching today may take from this conversation and say, wow, I needed to hear that?
That there are resources available to them to make sure that they have it's important to have accurate information so that they can make an informed decision. And my hope is that it generates conversations. And so that when you have these conversations, you realize the need. And if you have the correct information, you can make an informed decision. And if I can help someone make an informed decision to become a registered donor, then we're on the path to saving at least one more life.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Eddie, for joining us today and for sharing your insight. Again, October 15th, from now all the way through October 15th, National Hispanic Heritage Month. So if you are watching this today and we have inspired you even just a little bit to either have the talk with a loved one or to register, you can register as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. And you can do that at donatelifesouthcarolina.org on your iPhone Health app or when you're updating your license at the South Carolina DMV. And be sure to please follow us on social media. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, Sharing Hope SC. We will continue to share incredible information and inspiring stories, especially related to organ, eye, and tissue donation for National Hispanic Heritage Month, now again through October 15th. So thank you, Eddie, again so much. I'm so grateful that we got a chance to talk with you. And I know, you've inspired me, so I'm sure you've inspired many others today. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. I hope that you have a blessed week as well. And again, if you ever need anything from us, We Are Sharing Hope South Carolina is always here for you. We'll see you next time for Hope Connects. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, of course.